Hello friends, and welcome to my first video in my Christmas craft fair series. I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me today, and thank you so much for your patience. I'm going to be making these fun Christmas planners today, and they're super easy. It's using just a composition book and some scrapbook paper, and it is so satisfying and fun to make these. So I hope that you'll join me. Stick around for the tutorial. We're going to make this one right here. I love how it turned out, and these are super easy, and I have a foolproof way to cover these composition notebooks. So I just want to say thank you so much for your patience these past few weeks. Things have been crazy around here. I know for a lot of you as well. And I'm super happy to be back filming. Please excuse my scratchy voice. I've got some allergies going on. But other than that, I'm ready for my slew of craft fair Christmas videos. And I hope that you are too. So let's go ahead and let me show you. First of all, I made 20 of these things. So the two that I showed you right now are the ones that I've decorated. I've got these all ready to go. All I have to do is decorate the front as I showed you in the other two. So I'm going to take you through all 20 of these. They're all prepped, ready to go for me to just decorate and embellish the fronts. And these, I had so much fun making these. It was so therapeutic and fun. And I had like an assembly line situation going on. And I just enjoyed it so much. So for this project, for the 20 Christmas planners that I made, I killed an entire paper pad, like literally used every sheet in the paper pad. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I show you the 20 that I've made, and then we're going to make one here together. Okay, so those are the 20 that I made, and like I mentioned, I didn't decorate the covers yet. I'm going to have a fun craft night at my sister's house, and she's going to work on stuff, and I'm going to finish embellishing all of these for the Christmas craft fair. So this is the book that you're going to need. It's just a regular composition book. You can get it at the Dollar Tree for $1. You can get it probably cheaper at Walmart and Target. I got mine. I was super lucky. I got a bunch of them for 25 cents during back to school time. So that's all you're going to need. And then here is the scrapbook paper that you will need. Before I give you the measurements, just know that you can make this using 2 pieces of single-sided 12 by 12 paper and then a scrap. So that dark green piece there is from a scrap used to make a pocket. So this first page here is 9 3/4 by 12. The strip here is 1 3/4 by 9 3/4. The pocket page is 7 1/4 by 5. And then over here, it's going to look a little weird because I need to trim this one down because I cut it wrong, but it should end up being 10 3/4 by 9 3/4. And then the little strip here is 2 1/4 by 9 3/4. So we're going to start out with the front. So put these 2 sheets here aside because that's for the back cover. And we're going to start out with these papers here. You can also put that pocket page aside as well, that dark green one. And you're going to grab your composition book. And for the sake of this video, I went ahead and covered mine with adhesive to save some time. And so I'm using Scor Tape, and Scor Tape is really sticky, double-sided tape. I ordered mine from Amazon. It's such good adhesive, and I'm going to link it below for you in case you want to go get some. I'm running out of my 1/2-inch size here, but you can always use your ATG gun or wet glue for this. This is just the adhesive that I chose to use. Just make sure you get it all the way to that edge and then fill in the center. Also make sure you get right up against that black vinyl piece and not over it. So we're just going to cover this front page and also do the back, but let's start with the front here. I'm just going to peel off all the backs of the adhesive and then we'll get started. have it super sticky, and we're going to start with our strip that measures 1 3/4 by 9 3/4. And you're going to line this up at the edge of that vinyl piece. So my tip is just to eyeball this at the bottom and make sure that you're lining it up with that bottom edge and the side where you're lining it up next to the vinyl, and then just lay it down, and it should work out perfectly. Now, these notebooks aren't exactly identical, every single one of them, so you might have to make a couple little snips here and there, but this one seemed to work pretty well. So it's very important to burnish it with your bone folder to make sure it gets in all the fibers of the notebook and it won't come up, and just get those edges really well so nothing peels up over time. So next you're going to take your main piece that measures 9 3/4 by 12. You've seen me do this on my channel before. This is the process that I used for my fall journals and a couple of other videos that I did where I wrap it around the edge. But anyways, first what thing you want to do is line it up at the bottom, right at the edge of the strip that you just laid down. And don't worry if the gap between, or like the space kind of between the strip and the big piece isn't perfect, because you're going to cover that up with like a decorative strip anyways. So that piece is the one I forgot to show you a while back, but it's very easy and you can just use a scrap or washi tape, and we will get to that later in the video. But I'm just laying this down, lining it up with the bottom, lining it up with the edge of that piece, and then just kind of press it down, and it works out very good. It's super easy, and now you've got this notebook pretty much covered. So get your bone folder and go ahead and burnish all the edges except for that right edge. I don't want it to rip because the paper is still kind of hanging off the edge there. Okay, so now that you have that front covered, what you're going to do is turn your notebook around, and the excess here is what we're going to fold over to cover that inside cover. So what I like to do is grab my bone folder and just kind of lay this flat so you can work with it. Grab your bone folder and crease right there where the edge of the notebook meets the paper. And it'll just help you get it started to where you can fold this evenly over that cover. So then just use the edge of the notebook and your other hand and just gently bend that up so it meets that edge. You want to do this gently so it doesn't crack. Some paper does crack, but you can clean it up pretty easily. And then you're just going to fold this over that front cover, and it's going to automatically give you a nice finished edge here, and it's going to cover the inside cover for you. There might be a little bit of cracking here, but usually it's pretty smooth, and if you're gentle with it, and it works out pretty well. So once you have it like this, you're just going to finish burnishing it on the edge there now that it won't rip. And then we're going to get these corners rounded and that page adhered to the inside cover, and your front cover will basically be done. So I just covered this entire page that you're going to fold over there with adhesive. Once you have it all folded and worked, I just use my ATG gun and just fill this entire page with adhesive. It's very important to get all of the edges just like the front cover. So the measurement I gave you kind of leaves a little gap here, and sometimes you can see like that information they have on the front cover kind of showing through, but we're going to fix that later in the video with just a strip of paper. So now that we have this all covered, we need to round the corners to match the form of the notebook, because as you know, these have rounded corners. So the perfect tool for that is the corner chomper by We Are Memory Keepers. The 1/2 inch side matches up to the notebook perfectly. So that's what I'm going to use here. And if you have a corner rounder, just by all means use the one you have. But these are amazing. I talk about them all the time on my channel. It's one of my favorite tools. So again, I'm using the 1/2 inch side, and I'm just going to chomp each of those corners, and it's going to match perfectly. I just love how that works out. That way you don't have to worry about, cutting the paper exactly to fit the front. You can do this nice foolproof process that I'm showing you, and then just chomp the corners at the end. See? nice and rounded. So now you're going to bring in those other scraps that we put aside, and we're going to cover the back the exact same way. It's going to have a little bit less coverage on the inside cover, but you'll see how we're going to fix that.
Oh, Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
Okay, so now we're going to work with this 2 1/4 by 9 3/4 inch strip to cover the rest of this inside cover. So we're going to make this into a cute little pocket to fit things in. And you know me, I like to cut my little notch with my half circle before we do it, but we're going to adhere that down with some wet glue, and it's going to create the fully covered inside cover. So I'm going to take my little circle, I think it's a 1.5 inch circle, and just go like a third of the way down. And you see me do this a million times. Do a little notch so there's like a little pull tab right there for the pocket. And then just take any wet glue and glue all the 3 sides. And then just adhere it down. I think I lost some footage here. I thought I was recording and I guess I wasn't, but you guys know how this goes. See, there it is. I lost some footage, but I just glued all 3 sides and then left that top side exposed, of course, because it's where the pocket forms. And that's how you cover the back inside cover. It's super easy, and you've seen me do it before. So now we're just going to finish this off and round those 2 corners. And your notebook is pretty much ready, and all you have to do is decorate. The corner chomping is like my favorite part because that means you're all done and it's all adhered. Look at how good this looks. I love the look of it. And this is where that little strip scrap that I was talking about comes in. It's just going to finish this front cover off so nice to get it ready for our embellishing. And for this one, here I use a little strip of the scrapbook paper, but I think for this I'm just going to use a strip of red. I think that's going to pop so nice. It's going to match the little berries on there, and it looks so good up against that mint green color. So again, this is what we're working with, just showing you an example there. And so you basically just simply add adhesive to the back of your little strip and then glue it down. So the strip that I'm using measures 1/2 inch by 9 3/4.
Unchanging, not only green when summer's here, but also when it's cold and drear. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
Okay, so for this next part, I just need to apologize because I, again, thought I was recording. I was really struggling with this video, you guys, because you know I haven't made a video in about a month. And so my camera, the charger on it broke. And so I have to like tape it in there. I have another one ordered, but I just kept messing up with my filming. I kept thinking the camera was rolling when it wasn't. So this, you understand though, this is where the pocket goes on the front. You need to round that left bottom corner. But this is where I'm going to bring in a little strip to cover that like exposed part there. So just make sure you don't get it all the way into that like fold. Otherwise the notebook will have a hard time closing. But I just took a strip right here and adhered it down. This is right about the point where I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So here is where we are now. So I just want to say I adhered that strip down, I put the pocket in, and I decorated the front. But because I thought I was rolling for the entire time I was decorating the front here, I'm going to go ahead and decorate one of my other ones on camera just so I can kind of show you what I did. So first of all, I die cut. Aren't you proud of me? I die cut, you guys. I've had my Cuttlebug for years, and I finally used it a lot for this project. I made a bunch of those little shapes there with the paper, And then I pulled out the little packs of ephemera that I have and the chipboard, and this is how I decorated it. So since, again, the camera was not rolling, I'm going to go ahead and decorate this cutie right here on camera. I'm going to set it to music, so I hope that you enjoy. You're going to see my simple process. So let me just give you a tip on if you're mass producing items. Do it in a assembly line style. So I'm not going to have to think about a new design every single time I go to decorate one of these. As you can see in the two that I just showed you, they have very similar layouts. So I'm using one of these cute die cuts that I made. And then on top of that, I'm using a gold, like glittered piece that comes in the ephemera packs, and I have a ton of them. And then a journaling card that I cut from the paper. And on top of that is going to be a little small embellishment that I also get out of the ephemera pack. And then I just add a little chipboard. So it's very similar. All the designs are pretty much the same layout, just with different patterns and colors. And you're going to see here just how I do it. And then I'm going to show you a little tip where I lay it out, I design it, and then I take a picture with my cell phone, because I'm one of those people that will design it and love it, and then I'll forget what I did. And I'll forget how to glue it down and everything. So sit back and relax as I decorate this fun Christmas planner.
The first Noel, the angels did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay, keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. They looked up.
Okay, so there it is, my very first Christmas project of the year, and I love how these turned out. I am like obsessed with making these. They're so much fun to alter. I'm so glad that you joined me for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I've got much more coming. Again, I apologize for the delay in videos. It's just life, you guys. So I want to thank you for your support and your patience. My mom and sisters are also working on their project, and we do foresee a Christmas craft fair and an Etsy sale at the end. So I hope that you'll join me in my next video as well. I'll link everything below that I can possibly find from this video. And also, by the way, I've had a couple of messages asking me where I'm at, what's going on, and I would love for you to follow me over on Instagram. It's where I do all of my updates, and I post little sneak peeks and things like that. So if you would follow me over there, I would absolutely love it. I'm happy to have you in this community. It's so much fun, and there's so much support and love, and I can't thank you all enough. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in my next Christmas craft fair video. Bye!